We're on to the spaghetti mess of wiring. I already took most of the harness apart to what I believe is just the charging system and ignition system. All the rest of the stuff that was in there is now in a pile here, and I'm really hoping that none of those are important. So after looking on the internet, I couldn't find much, but I did find a wiring diagram for a 1200 standard. So in an attempt to make sense of this in my head, which I don't know if this helped or made me more confused, but drew up some pretty crude wiring diagrams just so I can sit out here and look at it instead of trying to mess around with the tablet, because the one for the Aspencade is pretty low resolution. You can't zoom in and see anything. So then I drew up my aftermarket relay box. I'm gonna try and put in fuse box and whatnot. Yeah, so as you can tell, I'm not super pumped about it. I don't really like wiring, but I'm acceptably good at it, I guess. I'm better at just hacking stuff up and making it work. Where'd my tank go? And then my little tabs down here, just to keep it up off the frame. Front seat mount, also got that on. Just kind of wing that. Once I get the engine pulled out, I'll be able to flip the frame around and finish weld everything, grind down some of my real nasty welds, re-weld them. But I did find out that this real high dollar Amazon special brake light I got lines up with the holes in my tubes. So I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. I might have to cut all this out, kind of notch this, make a filler plate inside of here. I don't know, something to think on, because I can't really tighten them up like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna mess around with electricity today, I think. It's not gonna be fun, but hopefully I'll get it figured out. Well, I would recommend getting a pre-wired fuse box, relay box, whatever you want to call it, because after quite a few choice words, and I still don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of these. I got one set up for the fan relay, but after looking at the diagram again, I don't think it needs a relay, but it's already wired, so now we're going to see where that goes. Anyway, I got battery power coming in, the red, that goes to an ignition relay. And that goes back up here, feeds the rest of these fuses, fan, headlight, tail light. I forget. I'm not looking at the paperwork. Anyway, in my spaghetti mess that I wanted to check out before I got too deep into this, I have my switch, which you can hear clicks my relay for ignition power, and that comes over here to this side. Nice jumper here between black, which is ignition power, to the rest of the bike, factory harness. Then the kill switch gives you power to the black and white wire, which then becomes your actual ignition power for the coils. So once you get that, here it fell out. And I know that black's ignition, the yellow red is the crank wire, and I have a spark plug up here, but little itty bitty momentary switch, still going to the factory starter relay, but we just give that a push. Well, I had spark. Let's try it down here again. when the camera's off. Anyway, you're just gonna have to believe me that in my test stages here, I have spark. There it is. So, proven theory. I switched a couple wires over on the ignition switch that I cut off because I'm going to run no key, just hide the push button for the starter somewhere. And this will be brake light wire, and then I think my headlight, tail light, turn signal power, which I'll probably just rob off of an ignition power somewhere. Which I'm hoping to put my turn signal switch here, 3-position, high-low will be on the back of the headlight. My speedo's still on a slow boat somewhere. And then I have some little indicator lights, left, right, neutral, oil switch, high beam I put in. The speedo is going to be a 2 5/16 GPS location speedometer. It does have left, right, high beam in it, but I figure being this small, it'll probably sit right about here. That's why my toggle switch is off-centered a little bit. So I'll probably tuck this down in somewhere, make a bracket off the back side somewhere. But yeah, that should get tucked in. I don't know. Might have to play with that. This will probably get cut off. Slide it down, see where this sets for level. So that'll be pretty smooth, I think. Then I'll just have to run up some wires for the brake light switch, hook it into the rear brake lights. The rest is just cussing at a mess of wires. But catch you up in a bit. Here's a random one for you. Speedometer said 52mm hole, which is 2 5/16. Frequently bought together on Amazon, 2 5/16 dash pod glow shift thing. Only this is threads up the sides, and it has this kind of ring that goes on it, so you're supposed to have some kind of bulkhead in between. Not gonna work with this. It was like 12 bucks, but I feel like I'm kind of committed now, so tried to figure out what to do with it. So here's what I came up with. This goes on here, screws up, it's supposed to have a bulkhead right there. This is supposed to have a clamp on the back side that you tighten up. I don't even know how that's, oh. So there's a bracket. This is supposed to screw onto the back side of your oil pressure gauge or whatever. Then you put this in here, screw it in through the back cap, sucks the gauge tight up against this. Well, as you can see, there's no threads on the back of this, so we're kind of pickled there. So what I came up with, how to turn this down. I took a pair of side cutters, nicked it just a little bit, just a teeny bit of a sharp edge. Started with the Dremel flap wheel, cleaned up the edge to get it started, wedged it in here, and I took it on my fancy lathe I have here, and it's a decal remover eraser. And that little knurl right there pulls off some of the plastic, so I've been working at it for a few minutes, but you just go around a little bit, clean out some of your extra. So what I'm going to do take this guy, some JB Weld. I'll scruff up the inside of this, slide that in there. I'm probably going to go, probably going to take it all the way off. JB Weld it, scruff up the inside of this. That should be good there because it's already getting cut up. And then I'll just be able to, I'll have to get it indexed and tight first before I glue it and make sure it's in the right spot. But that'll be the speedo, and that'll run because it's a GPS signal speedometer. I'll probably end up making my own bracket to go off of here, weld on that to bolt onto the bike. But just a random, you don't need all the fancy tools, you just got to use your head and come up with new ways to do weird stuff. Alright. Well, it's been a bit. Mainly just missed wiring. But I got kind of sick of wiring. Really sick of wiring. And all you missed was a bunch of looking at my wiring diagrams and power probing wires, making sure everything works. But yeah, we're down to bare bones now, not much left of her. So the only thing I did that I screwed up, ran all my wires through here. Now they don't go either way. Oh, maybe I might be able to fish them through. I don't know. Something to mess with. Gonna take the front wheel off. It's 4 bolts. Pretty simple. Then we're gonna clean up some welds in here, finish welding on the inside. But I would say probably the biggest revelation I've had in the last day or two is throttle cables. Where'd they go? So I got this little throttle block off of eBay, Amazon for 10 bucks or something. Knowing that the cables are 2 sizes, for some reason, I'm thinking there's no way that this hole is right. So I need to find throttles. Well, trying to find 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch barrel with threaded ends, because it's an 84, is nearly impossible. Talked to 2 or 3 different places. No, we don't make them with threaded ends. No, we don't have anything like that. So I figure I may as well try before I get too far deep into this. And what do you know? The stock Goldwing cable is M10 by 125 thread. That is what this is. So I just ordered a set of new cables on eBay for 20 bucks for both of them. I'll take this secondary one, whip that in the garbage, and just run these a little bit different just to soak up some cable length, because I don't have big huge donkey dink bars on here anymore. So yeah, I don't know, just find one that has M10 by 125, get 2 sets of throttle cables, throw this one with the slider away, and make it work, I guess. I don't know. Wish I would have known that sooner, but there we are. So I'm just going to flip this pig over, burn it all around the bottoms, start doing some finished work, because I think I'm going to paint tomorrow, next day, something like that. After I wash it and scrub it, we'll get her going the opposite direction here. Hopefully this is as far as I need to take it apart. I'll have to take the shock out, but that's where we're at.